teeny. Little teeny nine. Teeny nine. Look at that teeny nine. He's tiny. Even tinier than before. She got a haircut. Look at that face. Look at her. So pretty. Okay. Okay. So, as I was talking about in the last video, that I went on a very long tangent about it, but how I don't perceive myself the way other people perceive me, and that the process of which I've become the way that I am is so, like, all these things have happened that have led to me being this way, and I've been this way since I was a child. It's not like I've evolved, of course. I've become more and more this way over time. I've embraced my selfness and my beingness and my the way that I am, and allowed myself to be the way I am more and more. But I have always allowed myself to be this way. So, and for me, like I was saying, that I don't see myself as strange, and I don't see myself as weird, and I don't see myself as unusual. I actually see the world as strange and unusual because, like with the art that I make, the art I make and the music I make, that's the kind of music and art that I think needs to exist in the world, because that's it's beautiful to me, and it makes life beautiful, because the world is quite not beautiful. The world is very corporate, it's very capitalistic, it's very greedy, and somewhere like Bali, where we're lucky enough to be able to live, is beautiful, is uniquely beautiful. Southeast Asia is beautiful in general, but somewhere like living in Bali, we have this beautiful garden that we get to look at every day, and this beautiful view of the sunset, and it's more beautiful than anywhere else I've been. It's green, there are flowers and birds and animals, and it's closer to what I want life to be. As corporate America was never something that I connected with or related to. Everything was gray and brown and black, and just, everybody in New York wears black all the time. And I would be the only person, Thoth and I would be the only people walking around with colorful clothes on. And I remember even when I was 21 years old and I'd first started playing with Thoth, it was almost winter, it was getting really cold, or it was the middle of the winter, and we were at the Angel Tunnel, and I had a full pink outfit on, warm clothes, which is hard to find like a bright colored warm outfit. And this person passing me at the tunnel said, "You're the kind of color that the world needs. We need that. Thank you for doing that for us." And that was back, 15 years ago now. So, and then before that I was, so it's just, I wish I had photos to share of myself from when I was a teenager, how outrageous I was. But, so in the same way that I don't see myself in the way that other people see me, the strange, unusual person that I am. It's normal to me. The strangeness that I can be perceived as is my normal. The fact that Thoth goes out every morning and does a walkabout and comes back covered in sweat, and if I go out, he's singing to people and he's singing to trees, that's normal to me. When we get to do a performance and for an audience, and I get to sing into people's eyes and move people to tears and all, that's normal to me. That's just a normal part of my life. When I paint or make art and I look at what I've done, and it's this surreal, abstract, surreal art it's just coming from my imagination, that's normal to me. When I put on colorful clothes, it's just an everyday thing for me. When I do outrageous makeup, and sometimes I'm able to get some kind of perspective on like the style I have, the makeup that I do is really unusual. It's unique to me. But that's because I've just always been doing what feels natural to me, what feels normal to me, and isn't normal to anybody else. Um, but at the same time that I don't think about, like, I just generally don't think about how people perceive me, like that I might be perceived as weird or strange or outrageous or crazy or outlandish or wild or anything that I might be perceived as by the general public. I also don't think about how people might judge me. I like that never crosses my mind. It really doesn't. It's my general way of thinking is that people must love me because I'm a colorful, bright, shiny, friendly, kind, talented person. So why what would be the reason for anybody to feel anything other than happiness and joy in my presence? Um, I that I mean that's a genuine feeling for me, and it's very confusing actually to me when I realize or I hear from certain people that people don't like me or people have make very intense negative judgments against me or people are hateful towards me. And it totally shocks me when that happens in regards to Thoth. And I've been talking about this to him the last couple of days, and he's experienced a lot more hatred than me because he's mixed race and he has a lot of baggage in regards to that. And he went through this whole process of releasing it in the last several months, which has really helped him. And he hasn't had seizures in 3 months. So we're really hoping, like today is actually 3 months since he had the last set of seizures, and they really weren't that bad. So we're hoping that maybe they've stopped, or they're stopping, or they're slowing down. I realize that's one of the major reasons why I decided for us to settle down here is because I couldn't handle him having seizures every 2 months while we were traveling. You know, it'd be me taking care of him being all fucked up, and it would usually be like a day or two before we'd get on a fucking plane and fly to another country. That happened, you know, when we were in California for a few years. It happened when we were in Nashville. It happened when we were all over in every place in Mexico. It happened when we were visiting my dad a few years ago in Florida. It happened in New York. It happened in Europe, and it happened in Eastern Europe, and it happened a few times. It's happened a few times in Bali and Asia. And now that we've settled, it's been a few months since he's had one. So that's also become normal for me. Thoth has seizures, and I'm just hoping that they're stopping. Anyway, but it really is something that, like, I'm really hard on myself. That's another part of myself that I know is true about myself, is that I'm deeply self-critical. I realize that I'm constantly comparing myself to Thoth, which I need to stop doing, and I'm trying really hard right now to stop doing that, because it doesn't help me. It makes me so sad. And the other day, for example, on Sunday, he went to the Yellow Monk's Temple. That's what he calls it, and to sing. And I didn't go because I'd gotten upset with my dad about something, and then I talked to my sister for an hour, and I got distracted and I didn't end up going. So and then once he got back and he told me that he had this amazing experience of singing to like 15 people there was this big ceremony happening in Ubud today, big special thing. So I'm sure that was part of it. And they cheered, and it just would have been such a wonderful experience for me to be a part of, and I could have been. And instead I was getting all wrapped up about personal family drama, and gossiping and all, just this crap that doesn't matter. But there was a realization that I'm not liked by everybody. And that's something I've struggled with all my life, is that when I was younger, I definitely wanted everybody to like me. I was the kind of person who would like be afraid of if I dressed not if I dressed a certain way, but if I performed in a certain way that was too intense or too outrageous, that it would scare people away and we wouldn't make money, or things like that, you know. Or like, I always wanted to be beautiful. I didn't want to be so outrageous that I couldn't be conceived as being beautiful, or as being like really magical and not classically beautiful, because I'm just not that way. I could be if I wanted to. I could grow my hair and wear normal clothes and be. I'm a pretty girl. I'm not ugly, you know. I don't try to be ugly. Um, I don't try to be anything. I just am. You know, that I shaved my head a few months ago and it felt good. I've had this really crazy buzz cut for a long time, and I'm probably going to do something else crazy with my hair eventually, once it grows out to a certain point. Um, I've just always done my own thing, and this thing that I got some information yesterday from my sister, basically, uh, that people don't necessarily like me, that not, you know, and that I'm perceived in ways that I don't think about, and I do realize that when people, like, one of the things that was said, my sister said, is that I can come off as I can't remember the word she used, as maybe as like self-congratulating in regards to my voice, and that's something that I don't feel that way about my talent. But I think I have a feeling that because I'm so gifted, that I have such an amazing natural. I mean, I've always had this kind of natural ability to sing in this beautiful high way. I've definitely worked my fucking ass off to be able to do this. It's not just I just open my mouth and can sing this way. There's nobody who could do that. It's training and work and hard work and um, voice lessons and singing all the time and performing all the time. But I think I've kind of had this feeling, especially living here, that because my talent is so clear, especially with singing, um, but then I think when anybody sees that I can paint, I can draw, I do makeup, I do costuming, I do, you know, I'm like a completely original creative being. I'm not just somebody who can sing well. Um, and the fact that I have confidence in that, that can come off as being haughty to some people, I think, because that's my own thought about it anyway, is that unless unless people are really confident within their own abilities and their own talents, that if I'm not like totally humble about what I do, and I don't say, oh, it's just a gift from God and it's not me, and it's a, you know, like, I know that I have a great gift, and I have over the years seen and known that I'm very underrated, and I've really never gotten my due, so to speak. Whatever the fuck that means, because I don't even really know what that means, what that would look like to me. Because I probably would never be satisfied. As I said, I'm really tough on myself. So, me being, like, believing in myself and having, like, I know what I am and I know what my talent is. I don't shrink myself down to make people comfortable. I definitely don't try to make people uncomfortable. You know, I'm not trying to, uh, I don't brag. I'm not the kind of person that has I don't have a big ego about myself, but I definitely have confidence. I am totally confident about my abilities, and I don't feel like I need to oppress that in order to make other people feel better about themselves. Um, but in particular in Ubud, I feel like my talent could come across as threatening to people because I am so myself. And I feel like that's possibly true for Thoth as well, because we're just so ourselves, and we don't make excuses, we don't hide, we don't conform, we don't push ourselves down. We're just there. And for me, it's just, I'm just being what I am. I'm a great singer who can paint really well and draw really well, and I'm not the best in the world, not by a long shot, but that's not the point. It's just having belief in myself. And I think that, for example, that my voice can speak for itself. Like I could never say a single thing about my singing ability or my music ability or anything, and that it just speaks for itself. But then on top of that, for that talent to be so clear, and then for me to be really confident with it and know what I am, that can be threatening to people or confusing, or that they get like, maybe they start, I don't know, I'm not sure. Um, because my intention when I speak is just to speak my mind and talk about things that I believe in, and I don't feel like I come across as anything other than genuinely expressing myself. And if people perceive me as certain things, I don't think about that. It's just interesting. And I know the reason why I'm able to be this way is because I don't spend my time thinking about how people think about me, how people perceive me. And me knowing that some people don't like me, or are, see me in a way, in a light that I don't see myself, or project things onto me. It really doesn't mean anything to me, actually, because I know what I am. And does that make sense? It's like I know who I am, and I do protect myself with, I have my own world, my own bubble that I'm in. I definitely will take people's advice, and if somebody, like my sister yesterday was saying to me, you sound a bit haughty, in your videos talking about your voice, and or I can't remember the word she used, but I will listen to people. I'm not just gonna like say no. I don't care what you say. If somebody tells me that I've hurt their feelings, or that I'm doing something that's upset them or something, I will take all of that into consideration, of course, because I don't want to hurt people. I don't want to upset people. I don't have any desire to like make people uncomfortable, or overwhelm people or whatever. But I also know very clearly that I can't control what anybody thinks, really. I can't. And I know, I've been thinking about this, that I know that when you go out and you are yourself, when you live your life for your own beliefs and you follow your own path and you live in your own world, people are going to make assumptions and judgments about you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if you live based on other people's perception of you, I know this has been said a million times by a million people, but for me it's true. It really is. It's like, if you live your life based on what other people think of you, and being afraid of coming off as something that you're not, or whatever, you're never going to do anything, because you're just going to be terrified. You're going to be incapable of taking any action. And people like to gossip with each other. People, especially people who don't do anything themselves, they tend to like to kind of talk to each other and say stuff about other people. Like if I knew all of the negative things that people have said about us throughout the years, throughout the last over a decade of time, or all the negative things people have said or thought about Thoth that aren't true, I would just fold into myself and crumple away. If I knew all of the things that people have said negatively about us at the Angel Tunnel, or in Golden Gate Park, or in Balboa Park, or in Lisbon, or in Barcelona, or any of the places where we would play a lot, I just don't think about that. It's not something that crosses my mind. My general thought is that people must love us. I don't think that people should love us. I don't think that people should do anything. I can understand why we might come off as weird or crazy, I can definitely understand that. It's just my general thought is that being colorful, bright, shiny people that are good people that smile and laugh and say hello and do something original and creative, that why wouldn't that be totally accepted for the way it is? But that's just me, you know. When I met Thoth, I didn't question what he was doing. I wasn't confused by what he was doing. I knew he was expressing himself, and I didn't need to be told what he was doing. I wasn't confused or lost or needed to be clued in. It was just clear he was out there expressing himself in his own way, and it was very tribal. It was very primitive. It was very, very raw, and that's the way he is. He's very intense and very passionate and just really like just big energy. And then me, I'm very ethereal and angelic and haunting and mystical and fairy-like and unicorn-like, and you know, that's the way I am. It's just that's how I am. But I'm also a person, and I'm a human being, and I do get affected by things. It's not like I'm just floating around in a bubble of magic and mystical whatever, and just sitting around making art all day, which I am. I do get affected by things, and sometimes, and I'm very self-critical, and I can be a lot of the time feeling like I'm not doing enough, that I've failed, that I am a bad person, that I'm never gonna be able to achieve the things I want to achieve. There's so many things I want to do. You know, I really want to perform in a beautiful space, like at the Udara. I would love to record an album. I really want to make an art book. It's like there's so many things I want to do that I haven't done. I want to write the book of our life together. And I'm very impatient and very, you know, I'm rough with myself. And even when I'm sitting and painting, I notice how I'm thinking that I must be doing something wrong all the time. And I have anxiety, for sure. It's not as bad as like someone like my sister has, but I'm definitely, you know, I'll feel worried that maybe I'm making a mistake, or I've done something wrong with my life or whatever. So, and the way my life is the way it was meant to be. Because when I go out in the world now to meet Thoth somewhere soon, it's a beautiful world out there, and we get to be in, and it's just so interesting to me that I live in this way where I really am within my own dimension. I am generally within my own world. I'm listening to music most of the time. I'm painting, which really brings me into my own world. When I get to practice singing or just sing for people, but then when I'm in the regular world, it's hard for me because I don't feel like I'm a part of things. I don't feel like I'm a part of the world, and I never have. It's never like I've fit in at one point, and then I went off and did my own thing. It's that I've always been this little freak, and it's just like as I get older, I see how true that is, how true it is that I am such a freak, but that freakish, unusual, out there, outre kind of way that I am is just my life. It's me. And I only hope that I can share something beautiful with people. And my hope is that anytime I go out, anytime I make a video, anytime I sing, anytime I share something, that I'm sharing something beautiful within myself that can make the world a little more shiny and a little more beautiful for other people. Because I need that. You know, I need self-expressiveness and creativity in order to live. I cannot live without, you know, if I go a day without painting or drawing or singing, I feel like something is missing in my life. It's hard for me to let myself rest, even to spend some time like not doing anything. I really struggle with that because I'll be lying in bed taking a nap and feeling like I need to get up and paint the masterpiece of my life, and I need to write the novel of my existence, and I need to, you know, make the album of, you know, of my dreams and all of that. So it's hard to let myself rest. But this has been my life for my whole life, is that I've had nobody to tell me what to do. And especially now, I just live a kind of, but it's not carefree. It's definitely full of a lot of care and a lot of thought and a lot of overthinking and a lot of consideration for everything. And Thoth and I spend a lot of time talking about everything, philosophizing about things. He's such a comfort for me because he's someone I can bounce things off, and we both help each other not feel like we're totally out of our fucking minds. Because I'll say, I feel this about something, and he says, yeah, I understand. I feel that way too. And I'm feeling for people in America right now, and it's very disturbing what's happening. So anyway, thank you for listening, and I appreciate it very much. And I appreciate those of you who are there and who listen and who don't judge and who relate to what I'm talking about. I appreciate all the people who have left comments, insightful comments about themselves or about what I've talked about. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So thank you, and talk to you guys later.